Paul. I'm a giant fucking fat piece of shit who can't stay skinny. Hey, everybody. I don't know if you guys can tell, but Paul isn't here. Unfortunately, his weight loss journey sent him right over a fucking cliff. I don't know if he's going to be on the show or not. I think he went the way of the Segway man. He's just, he's in our thoughts and prayers. Rest in peace, Paul. You giant fat piece of shit. But to go with that, hey, we've got Smiley. We got Smiley Adventures here. Hey, but honestly, Paul, we all miss you. We love you.
Paul, Paul, poo. Paul, Paul, poo, 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 poo. Paul, 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 poo, 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 poo. Paul, Paul.
Hey, yeah, so Paul, that's if you ever pass away, buddy, I'm gonna play that at your wake, because you're definitely gonna die before I am. But yeah. So before we get to Smiley, you guys know him. We're gonna do a camping slash we're gonna do a camping and find out what Smiley's up to. But before we get there, make sure if you'd like to support the channel, the show, all that stuff, you can head to patreon.com/Bass and Brews, become a OG producer of the show, and that'll give you access to Last Call with Alex and Paul, our monthly live show with all of the Patreon members, and it'll also give you access to winning Paul's shit. Everybody remembers all those crankbaits I was supposed to give him? Well, fuck him. Good on you guys, because I give out to you guys, the Patreon members, every single month. And I think that was all. They catch up. Smiley, what's up, brother? What's up?
What's up, man? You did forget the y'all look.
Oh,
You left
yeah.
that out.
Oh, look. I feel like he sounds like Jabba the Hutt. Like, I can't quite figure it out. It's been a
And then it's just a
minute
random can of Beanie Weenies or something. Like,
Yeah. Well, the Beanie Weenies is just him giving gas, because now that he's on his weight loss journey, he swears by fucking beef jerky chew and fucking cabbage. So a couple episodes ago, he talked about how he could finally see his pecker, and it looked like a little turtle poking out. The only problem is he smells so bad. Nobody wants to see that little turtle poking out. So
yeah, if he smells like cabbage, probably not.
I mean, if he smells like cabbage, he's gotta get divorced. Sorry, Sarah, and he's got to marry an 82-year-old Polish lady named Olga. That's the only person that likes cabbage.
And then she's gonna come out like that creepy old lady that. So there's this new anime that, like, the main bad person in it that comes out is this creepy possessed demon grandma.
Is that the hot grandma anime?
It has the hot grandma, but the bad lady one, like, her whole intro line is she just looks at this kid and she's like, "I'll let you suckle my teats while I gobble your dong," and that's how they introduce this character. And you're
That's
just
perfect.
Like, what did I just see?
I didn't know Bass and Brews anime was live at this point. I'm glad that people are finally seeing it. And hey, just so people don't think that I'm only shitting on Paul.
Alex. Poop.
Hey, yeah, so if you guys don't know, you can go over to TikTok, and if you just search your name and the word poop, this guy, brilliant creator, has done nothing but create poop songs and audio for like every name out there. Like every name. I looked up Shaniqua. That one's on there. I looked up some other fucked up names. Not that Shaniqua's a fucked up name, but I looked up a bunch of shit, and I really tried to put it to its paces. And the only one I couldn't find was Misty.
Misty? That's surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a Misty personally, but I have had a lap dance from quite a few. So I figured there had to be a Misty poop song, but there's not. So maybe he'll get on it. I don't know.
I went to school with a Misty and worked with a Misty.
And got a lap dance from a Misty.
At least once.
Was that Misty with a Y or with an I?
I think it was with an I.
Oh, see, you can't trust a Misty with an I. You have to go with a Y. There's no respectable lady with an I at the end of her name.
No, if you take one of those home, you have to lock everything in the bedside table, or you're gonna wake up, it's gonna be stolen.
No, yeah. I mean, it's not only that, you have to set up ring cameras all over the place because you might lose a liver in the middle of the night when she cuts it out and you're sitting in the bathtub on ice.
Well, that's true, too. That's fair.
Yeah. Smiley, what have you been up to, brother? It's been about, so if you guys don't know, Smiley Adventures, he's our resident hobo camper. He's not homeless, though. I know his house looks like it, but he's not homeless. But he's like our camping expert for the everyman because he's not, we even talked about it before, he's not really good at fishing, but he fishes. So he could be a host on the show, basically. But he also camps a lot, but it's turned into just like he doesn't want to go home to the wood paneling, so he goes home to the wood, the trees. So he was on about a year ago. We've got him on again. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. But what have you been up to in this last year? What's your life been in like 15 seconds? Give me 5 words. Actually, hold on. Give me 5 words that describe the last 12 months of your life.
Rapidly growing career.
Okay.
No free time.
That's 6. Yeah. That's 6. He can't count. He is from Georgia, so he can't count. But that's fine. That's good.
I've got my socks on, so I can't see my toes to go past, what's on my hands.
I mean, rapidly growing career is good. The free time, that's how it works, though, right? Like as soon as the worst thing is we all sit around and we want to make as much money as possible so we can do the fun things. But when we start making the money, we don't have enough time to do the fun things.
Yes. So trying to find that balance right now, which I know we talked about it briefly. If this other change happens, it's going to get a lot of free time back and keep that. It's going to restore the balance, so to speak.
Gotcha.
So banking on that, so I start making some more fishing and camping content more regularly like I used to. So
yeah. Well, what Smiley was talking about, I'll let it out. So we were kind of chit-chatting before, and because if you guys don't know, Smiley used to have a really big channel on TikTok. It was fucking huge. And then the TikTok gods said, "Not today, Satan," and they took it all away. So he's slowly rebuilding. But as we were kind of chit-chatting, like YouTube, I feel like, and I'm not saying we're good on it on this channel, right? But I have some ideas. I have some crafting for next year to devote more to YouTube, right? Because YouTube seems like that more stable, just cornerstone platform that we keep talking about. Even if you're doing shorts, like fuck it, do shorts. Like, but TikTok seems like a whole weird beast at this point.
It seems volatile and about advertisement.
Yeah, right. Like,
and
unless
you never know what's going to get deleted.
Right.
Like I've had a ton of videos lately that don't violate anything, and then they're just gone right when they start doing well, and you're like, what? Why am I even posting on here? So
yeah, it's insane. TikTok's been, I mean, everybody knows from this show, I think we got a lot of our viewers from TikTok. But if you're not from TikTok, props to you. But yeah, like we haven't posted there a lot because it's just weird over there. So we're kind of taking a break from social media until the new year. And I think Bass and Brews is going to hit YouTube hard and fast. That's going to be the go-to because it never goes away. Listen, Russia just sued YouTube. Well, they sued Google, so that's YouTube also. I don't think YouTube's gonna pay because it was, I think like 200,000 billion. It was a fucking number that's not real. And there's still the constant, like YouTube will just be like, all right, shit, I guess we can't have YouTube in Russia. Oh darn! Like it's not a big deal. YouTube is the premier platform, I think, still. Now that they have shorts too, there's plenty of accounts blowing up on shorts too. So,
oh yeah, I've actually, so I've been doing YouTube way longer than I've done TikTok, and I maybe got like 2 200 subscribers on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But the long form, I enjoy doing long form videos because I like editing.
Right.
And like, if you go through my channel, you can tell as I'm learning and getting better at it.
Yeah.
The later videos are so much better. But the shorts, like I'll throw shorts up that I'm just like, this did okay on TikTok. I'm gonna go ahead and blast it on here too. And it does way better on YouTube than it does on TikTok.
Dude, it's crazy.
And
It's
I'm just
crazy.
like, all right, we're gonna milk both halves of this platform and just roll with it.
I mean, anybody trying to, like, everybody always says that, right? You gotta put something out on all the platforms, but it is cool seeing them pop off on what is, I think most people would think the top tier of platforms when it comes to video, which would be YouTube. It's cool to see that shit pop off. It's awesome. It's funny you said I used to love editing. Now I hate it just because I don't have the time. But what's cool is when you do enough long form videos, you can actually watch yourself, especially on YouTube. You can watch every video and kind of see yourself get better and better and better. And it's not just like editing, like it's not even like transition shit. It's like putting pieces of the story together, like being able to like hold an audience, because you can kind of tell where you're watching. And you're like if you watch it with a critical eye, you can be like, oh shit, this might be boring. All right, fuck it.
Yeah.
Next one, I'll cut this shit out, right? Like, and then you keep moving through, but every video you can see it get better, which is always, I always dug that. Every once in a while, like a fucking nerd, I'll watch like some of the first videos I put out, and then like a year later, and a year later, and a year later, like, because I've been doing YouTube since, I don't even count me doing it now, but like I started in COVID or during COVID, right? So, yeah, it's just really cool to see that. And you can really see it in YouTube. I feel like you can see it better in YouTube than you can on short form platforms.
Yes. Well, that's the same way. I went back and actually rewatched all of my YouTube videos recently because, we were talking about me trying to regrow my TikTok, and it's been a struggle. It's like it peaked pretty quick and it just plateaued and it's been riding at the same spot. And I was like, all right, is it me? What am I doing?
Right.
And I kind of went and watched the YouTube videos just to get a self-confidence boost, just to be like, no, I can make decent videos,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's insane, even from the filming standpoint, because I do, a lot of mine's not first person view filming. It's filming me doing something or interacting with something. And the changes throughout the videos of where I figured out, like, all right, that camera angle doesn't work. This doesn't work. Throw in some B-roll footage here, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to see that happen as the more you do it, which I would like to go ahead and take this moment. Anybody that's just getting into content creation, don't be too harsh on yourself, because it comes. It's not all these people you see making great videos. They didn't just do it overnight. So, oh Lord,
Such a good conversation ruined by Paul. We only had
totally
13 minutes.
That's not my name. That's not my name. They
Get
call me
derailed
Jack
already.
Burr. Heh, Murr. That's not my name. It's Paul. Hey, oh, motherfucker.
Paul, Paul, poop. Paul, Paul, poop, 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 poop. Paul, 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 poop, 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 poop. Paul, 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 poop, 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 poop. Paul, 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 poop, 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 poop.
Yeah, that's how we all feel now that you've joined the show.
Hey, you couldn't
look at these
even
beanie
wait
wings.
to play that shit.
I've already played it once, Paul, you motherfucker. But you're right, Smiley. He does look like he ate a whole bottle of Beanie Weenies.
Beanie Weenies come in cans, not bottles, you little short fuck. Little munchkin.
What is that to your left shoulder? What is that to your left shoulder, Paul?
My hats?
No. The other, what is this over the other side? That looks like a fucking...
Bitch, that's my right shoulder, you dumbass. Which one?
Left one. The left one. That looks like a shit goblin on your left shoulder.
It's got a flared base on it, so that makes me concerned.
What are you talking about?
Smiley, do you see it? This like brown object. Yeah, right there. What the fuck is that?
A bitch, that's my camouflage fanatics hat, you dumb
it's
you
a
asshole.
Hat. I'm telling. Oh, it is.
That
okay,
is
I
not
can see
what
it now.
Looks like.
It looks like a shit golem.
Remember when we talked last time? You remember the monsters that were coming out of the toilets? That's what that looks like.
Yes, 100%.
I will say this: Smiley's a short little asshole too, and he had to get a child's bow and arrow set. And Alex, that shit would still be taller than Alex. Alex would look like he's shooting a damn crossbow, except it'd be anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm excited to see we have the pine wood paneling.
Yeah, we already covered that. Thanks for coming in 15 minutes late.
I'm late because Carter had football
how do you do
tonight. He had a really good run. Their team is the one team out of the whole league that didn't have a returning player, so they're at a disadvantage athletically.
Yeah.
Had a rough first half, had a good second half, but Carter's one of their top offensive stars. He did good.
It's the best.
Good. But we're not here to talk about Carter.
We're not
here. We're here to talk to Smiley.
He's going to do an intro. He's going to do an intro. He came in 16 minutes late, and he's trying to do a fucking intro.
Look, Smiley's hairline is almost as bad as Mike Tirico's because his hat's almost falling off the back of his head, and he has a lot of hair up there.
Like down here, though.
Dude, Smiley's the only guy that could use the TikTok forehead, the forehead filter, and his forehead gets smaller. Wow, I love you, dude. I can't even remember your real name, but I still love you.
I can't even remember your real name.
I don't think anybody does, really.
No, we know it. It's in the text somewhere. I'm pretty sure you're saved under.
It's not. Name. Just so you guys know, I'll let he lives in Georgia. Smiley's real name is Frederick. No, it's Frederick Archduke III is his real name.
The meth lab connoisseur.
All right, catch me up. Where are we?
I'm not going to catch you up on anything. No, fuck
I'm
you.
Just
Nobody wants to hear it.
Bitch, I ask you where we are right now.
I'm at my house. You're in your garage. He's at his house. There you are. Smiley.
You know what? I have been watching the people who scam scammers. Yeah. And Alex, you just sounded like the scammer scamming the scammers, but it was not near as funny because you spoke English, and it's not good.
Solid, thanks.
So, Smiley, tell us about your bow and arrow hunting. Have you shot at anything alive yet?
No, I refuse.
It doesn't matter. Let me tell you a story about my bow and arrow hunting. When I was a little kid, I wanted a bow and arrow.
Fucking asshole.
And I got a
He's all day been waiting on this.
Hey, I got a decent compound bow, and I say decent. I don't know shit about no fucking bow and arrows. And I practiced my little heart out on a foam pad in the backyard. I was probably 10, 12 years old. And I lived in the middle of our little town, 1 square mile. We didn't have many furry animals running around I could shoot shit at.
Yeah, because they're all your cousins.
And at least I had cousins, bitch. And
or they were fuck toys.
So
cousins.
Anyway, I had birds to shoot at, and I shot a bird with a bow and arrow one day and killed that bitch dead. I lost the arrow. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think it even went through it. I think it just hit it and killed it, and I cried. But I could shoot that bow and arrow pretty good. But I didn't pay $8,500 like Smiley over here.
No, I bought mine used off Outdoor Trader. The problem was getting it set up. It needed to be restrung. It needed sight, arrows, everything. Like I had to get.
Why didn't you holler at us? We got a buddy Matt of ours from Tennessee that makes bowstrings and does all that shit.
Do we?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's new to me too.
Smiley. I didn't know that.
He's a kayak angler. He's a really good kayak angler. That earlier this year, he started. He's a big hunter. Matter of fact, before even the kayak fishing shit, he was recording.
Oh yeah.
God, I can't remember Matt's last name right now. I'll look it up here in a second when I quit running my fucking mouth. But he
can only hope.
Yeah, he makes his own strings and shit. We'll connect you. He's a good dude. He's a
He's a huge deer hunter. That's how he got started, was filming his deer hunts. And he had the camera set up and shit. Like he did his shit right. But then he got good at kayak fishing and threw it to the side for a couple years, and then now he picked it back up and is making some shit.
That's what I'm thinking. Probably next season, I will definitely hunt with it because I'm getting pretty good pretty fast. But I'm only like 3 weeks in, and I've got to the point where now I'm comfortably hitting stuff. If it's a good day, I can hit it like 50 yards. Mediocre
That's not
days,
what your commenters say. Your commenters say you fucking suck.
Yeah, they're pretty rough. But normal days, 40 yards max, which I'm not going to shoot at a live anything over 30 yards. So
yeah, Matt Collins from Tennessee.
Yep. Thanks, Paul.
Angler.
Hey, so how do you set up this range? Is it just you in your trailer park and you're just waiting for some lady named Stacy to walk out and you take a fucking shot at her, or what is it?
You shoot between her boobs, hanging down to her knees.
So the backyard is like, it's almost 2 acres. So I just I picked a spot to set up the target at where there's a good bank behind it, where if I do this, it's not going to go anywhere else. And I've got little spots marked at the different yardages in the yard.
Okay. So. All right. I dig it. All right. Well, that's good. So go ahead, Paul.
Never mind. Let's just continue with what y'all were
trying
to. About
we're trying to.
Here.
You're ruining it.
Bitch, you know what? I'm trying to transition us back to that.
You could have just came in.
Interrupting me.
Could have just came in.
You know, we're doing this on Wednesday. Wednesday's
we are doing it on a Wednesday. No shit, it is.
I got to get early as fuckers on a Thursday. Yeah. Thursday nights are great because I don't have to do all that shit. So I'm just trying to catch up so that I can be relevant in this conversation moving forward.
Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about so we talked about bows
too.
We're going to get back.
They treat Smiley bad.
My God, stop.
We're going to treat them bad. We're not getting a Caterpillar. We would never accept a Caterpillar sponsorship on this shit because fuck them.
I hate butterflies and caterpillars. I hate them both.
You got to hate the caterpillar first because them bitches turn into butterflies.
I hate them all.
Big ass moths.
I'll step on them all. I treat them like lantern flies. I just shoot this shit. Hey, man, now we're already derailing. Smiley, do you have lantern flies where you're at?
No.
Like fireflies?
No. It's like this invasive bug called a lantern fly. It's a super pretty bug, right? And it's like you're
it's a moth.
Sure, it's a moth. That's still a fucking bug. Thanks. But
all moths are bugs, but not all bugs are moths.
I recently got a salt gun, right? Like you put salt in it, and it's my new favorite thing is to act like Rambo in my yard and shoot these motherfuckers. Like I'll try to like tactical roll to like blow this motherfucker off the trampoline and shit. It's like my favorite new game. Like I hope
it sounds fun.
Are you like the Scott Rogers videos that I send you that you don't ever comment on? Are you like Scott Rogers, but with a assault gun shooting insects?
I might be. That dude creeps me out. The guy has no neck. But anyways, stop.
Hey, real quick. I'm done after this. We can get back to conversation. But if y'all do not, if you're on TikTok, you've got to follow Scott Rogers. He is one of my top 4.
That's the Power Rangers guy, right?
Yes.
White
Power
Power
I know
Ranger.
exactly who you're talking about.
His
Alabama somewhere, and it is amazing.
Yes, Country Corey. But Scott Rogers is got that like this shit
every day. Paul sends me a video every day, and here's the thing: is I can tell when Paul's taking a shit every morning because every morning about 7 to 7:12 in the morning, I get a fucking Scott Rogers video.
Before I drive, look,
Scott Rogers, shit.
RODGERS, Scott Rogers. You gotta follow him. I'm telling you, at first you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? But you are if he brings you in like nobody else on TikTok, and you cannot turn away. Imagine this. Imagine if growing up, if you had a troll and you shaved all the hair off the middle of the troll's head, and then you trim the sides, and then you took all of that hair and you glued it onto the body. That's what Scott Rogers looks like. And I'm telling you, it is.
But you would have to melt the neck off.
Yeah,
Yes,
no neck.
no
He
neck.
has no neck.
Yeah.
Absolutely no neck.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is a good channel to watch. It is great, great, great entertainment.
Paul recommends it when you're taking a shit because that's when he sends them to me.
That is the best time to watch it.
He cosplays. You know, telecommunicator people. He cosplays vending machine repairmen. He cosplays the White Ranger. All of your Power Rangers.
Only the White Ranger, because he's racist.
Only the white. Yes, basically.
No, not all. He's done others. I mean, he does a lot of cosplaying. It's very interesting. It's very intriguing.
No, he's never been the Black Ranger. Hey, real quick though, Paul only sends these out when he
Paul poop.
Yeah, he only sends those videos to me when he's pooping. So,
but after 7 o'clock, I'm sending you shit before I get to work because I'm up at like 4:30 in the morning. So you don't get any duty. You don't get any duty messages from me that early.
All right. Well, speaking of duty, let's get to our topic. That was a solid transition.
Hey, Smiley, would you shoot? Oh, bless me, child. Would you shoot that bear with your bow and arrow behind you?
No. If I'm going after a grizzly, I'm taking like a 50 cal or something. I don't want to be within half a mile.
No, he actually meant the picture. Would you? How much would we have to pay for you to put that picture
right now?
And then you
right
shoot
now,
an arrow
go get leave your camera where it is. Set your phone up. Go get your bow and arrow, and let's see how good you are. You got to shoot the picture.
No, that one was actually a gift. The guy that actually taught me how to fish gave me that.
Oh, well, you can't get rid of that. How about if Paul...
Well, the arrow would also go through the wall and out the back of the wall and probably hit his next door neighbor.
Dude, it'd go through the wall, back into his parents' bedroom because they're all in there. It would... It'd be a...
Damn, Alex, I was trying to... You hit my man low. He said a shit-ass 2 weeks at work and you go with some bullshit like that?
Smiley, I'm gonna need your address after this. I'm gonna paint you a picture of a bear, and I want to see you shoot a fucking arrow at it. It's gonna be a picture of like a bear with Paul's head photoshopped on it.
If Alex paints you a bear and sends it to you, that bitch is gonna be a human skeleton on all fours, skeleton. like they're on season 1 of Oz.
Actually, I do have a really good bear skeleton.
But you do. That's the only thing you can draw are fucking skeletons.
That's true. I didn't say Ashley. I'm not Drunkwood. Anyways, Smiley. Smiley's here because he's our camping guy. And yes, it's about that time of year where either folks are gonna like do a little extra camping, right? If you're in the southern states, or kind of a lot of places, a lot of folks are going to start ramping up, right? By that, I mean, they got fucking nothing else to do other than buy shit, right? So we brought Smiley here to kind of help you out with figuring out the best stuff and kind of systems that you can kind of put together. So,
hey, and on that, Alex, my man has tricked his taco out. And by taco, I mean it's Tacoma.
Yeah, the new one.
Tricked that Tacoma out with some badass like water systems, tent. Like my man took his taco from being naked to being like a naked Jemison, whatever the fuck her name is. Jemison. Yeah, I was right.
Jameson.
Jaina,
motherfucker.
Jameson. Now I'm saying it like him.
Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. Anybody under the age of 31 knows who Jama Jennison, aka Jenna Jameson, is.
Same thing.
How you said it, Paul, it sounds like an expensive drink at a hipster bar. Like,
It did.
can I get a Jameson? And they're like, oh, yeah, that's our locally sourced bourbon. And we put a little bit of cinnamon stick that was up Cheyenne's twat earlier. And we just pop it right in there.
All listeners, go to your bar and you need to record this, right? Record it, but be as incognito as you can with it. Be as I corrected myself, bitch. Incognito as you can, and order a Jameson. Order that and see what they
can't even
they
say
do.
it right. He can't even say it right
Because you
time.
messed it up. Because I said it right the first time, but then y'all had to correct me, and now my fucking N's and M's are all mixed up and shit. Anyway, we're here with Smiley tonight, the camping expert for Bass and Brews, and he has tricked out his Tacoma. We want to hear about what you did to it, and tell us how us poor folk can do it poorly.
Well, that's all right. So I was gonna save the car camping setups for
That's
last.
fine. Yeah. Let's save it for last.
No,
we're gonna save it for last because listen, it takes a lot of money because you had to get insurance because his shit kept fucking breaking and getting like ran into by deer like 5 times. The real trick to get a lot of camping gear is run into 8 deer on accident and then get all the insurance money.
The deer just kick-started that because that was the whole reason I bought the bumper. Because I was like, all right, I'm tired. This is inconvenient. I'm tired of this. And
then he started rolling through trailer parks, shooting his bow and arrow, running over Stacy's left and right.
So he got the push bar
for
his Tacoma because of the deer. And he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I've never heard of anybody getting arrested for shooting deer out of their truck with a bow and arrow. So I'm going to ride down the road and learn how to drive with my knees shoot deer with a bow and arrow out of my truck because that sounds way more legal.
He said, listen, this is the steel horse I ride. I am fucking shooting a deer out of this bitch.
Part of his camping setup is he's got a foot steering. He took the foot steering. What is it called? The Percy the foot steering, Percy steering from the kayaks. He put it in his Tacoma, and he's sitting on top of this platform using the Percy steering to steer it and shoot deer. Oh my God, dude, this is awesome. I hope the game wardens aren't listening because they're fucked.
Oh, I know. They're going to be following me everywhere.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to wait on the truck. We're going to wait on the truck. So speaking of running into deer, so if you're going to roll out there for a couple days, right? Nobody wants to be hungry eating fucking power bars. What are your solutions to kind of to eat while you're out there other than eating fucking power bars, Luna bars, and I don't know, diarrhea basically?
It depends on what kind of camping I'm doing.
Okay.
So if I'm going where I'm not going to be real close to the vehicle, or if I just don't want to do dishes and I want easy stuff, I tend to stick with Packet Gourmet is my go-to.
Cheapest one out there, baby.
It depends on which meal you get.
In general.
Yeah, but it's the flavor in those is so much better than the standard freeze-dried stuff because they actually just dehydrate theirs. So if you're going to order in bulk, you do need to kind of freeze them, until you're ready for your trip. But those are my go-tos just because of flavor.
What about MREs? Would you recommend picking those up?
They're too high now. They're not cost effective.
They're not cost effective?
No, because if you go to order a case of them, like on Amazon now, it's ridiculous.
I have 7 boxes full of MREs, literally 50 feet from me. There are only 2 flavors, but I guess I could sell them. Maybe we'll add that to the Winpal shit. I'll ship out.
That's what I was going to say.
Fucking MRE.
Don't ask Alex for those MREs because he won't send them for a year, and then when he finally starts mailing them out, he's going to send them to all the listeners instead of you.
Smiley, have you ever had a Navy ration?
Yes, I believe so. It's been a long time though.
All right, so the big difference, like your standard Army MRE has like your standard stuff that everybody knows of, right? But the Navy ration has like a bar. What?
Give me like 5. My dog is
Okay.
Shitting in
yeah.
the yard.
Oh
Yeah.
well, I'd rather not say it on the thing.
Go, because Alex,
Go.
you and
I'll
I
be right
can
back.
talk about MREs.
Yeah, we
When I
got
was
it.
a wildland
Anyways.
firefighter, I ate a lot of MREs.
So MRE, so the Navy issue of them, right? That's what we got in the Coast Guard too. It comes with this bar, and it's like, I don't know what the number is. It's like 3,000 calories. This fucking just bar, and it's a fucking
Like
brick. Yeah,
it's
dude,
like
it's
pemmican. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and it's fucking gnarly. You can't like you almost have to like cut pieces off of it to be able to
And
fucking chew
rehydrate
it. No, there's no rehydrating. You just fucking cut slices like you're cutting spam, and you throw it in your mouth, and hopefully that's enough that you can actually swallow that bitch. They are the fucking worst. So I have a bunch of cases of that randomly, and then I have to be honest, the standard military chili con carne is fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I think it tastes so
Delicious.
good. I actually take that on the kayak with me because I'm a weirdo and I think it tastes good.
Hey, I'm good. So the years I was a wildland firefighter, anytime I'd go on an assignment, I always had an MRE. It was down at the bottom of my pack, but it was.
Did they
always an
issue it
MRE.
or did you bring it?
No. We were given these.
Okay.
But then when you would go out on really big assignments, they would have MREs because you might be out 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
what I
only
was
thing you
wondering,
get to eat is a damn MRE. But with the MRE, they had. I will say this: I didn't eat one that I didn't not like. They were all tasty, but when you're out there drinking like 2 gallons of water, anything with a little bit of texture,
Yeah.
salt in it, and they're high in sodium, they're high in calories.
Yep.
But they were delicious. I mean, I ate a ton, but I always carried one. And this kind of goes into camping, because
you
when
should
go camping.
keep
just like Smiley says. Sometimes you don't want to have to clean any shit up.
Yeah.
Or you're hiking into your camp spot. You want to look. It's just it's water. The MREs come to that little pack now that you put the shit in, and it heats it up, and it's hot. But I never had one that I didn't like, and probably because that was the only hot thing you were eating that day. Because if you left camp, you would go get your bag lunch. Like you were going on a school field trip.
Oh, so you just got a bologna sandwich and an apple.
Well, it was it was bologna. It wasn't never bologna. It was ham or turkey typically.
Yeah.
And it had a slice of cheese on it. You got packet condiments, mustard and ketchup and mayo. And then it had a slice of tomato and a slice of or a leaf of
one leaf.
Fucking one leaf of salad.
Lettuce.
Yes. But you get your ass out there and you're hiking with this shit in your pack all day with a bunch of water, and it's all hot and stuff. So when you get it out, it's just it was terrible. It was terrible. So I always carried that extra MRE because sometimes you just
never know.
needed something besides that fucking shitty ass wet, hot, mayonnaise induced. Oh, it's terrible. But anyway,
make all the ladies wet with that. Hey, I
tell you what, and your turds would come out like a brick. And
after MREs, 100%. Yeah, it's tough.
Look, it's tough. Protein. It is protein and sodium, and I don't care what you took. If you ate too many of them, when you would go dookie, you dookie a turd out that was the size of a pin, and you thought you shat out a log, and you look down and you're like, oh my God, you have to wipe after that. Your butthole was clean after you. It actually cleaned your asshole after you.
Those are the best
shit.
Actually,
that's the same way. Like those Mountain House meals, I can't eat those because same thing. I eat one, and then it's like for 2 days I'm miserable, and then that happens.
Yeah, but I feel like, all right, if I'm out in the woods, I'm not trying to shit a lot out in the woods. So maybe I want a little stopper. You know what I mean? I want a little butt stopper.
Yeah. when I get home, I'll eat some Metamucil and be good to go for 2 or 3 days. And my wife will get mad because splatters of poop on the back of the toilet.
Yeah. I mean, as it was famously said, that's my, future Alex's problem, not current Alex's problem. So,
exactly right.
Yeah.
All right. So, so you're back from your dog going and taking a poop on your carpet.
Oh, it was so much worse than that.
Oh no.
Nice.
He came.
That was traumatic. No, it pooped. It did a 180, inhaled the poop.
Oh.
And then it puked everywhere with the poop.
Oh, solid.
Yeah, but your dog's like 8 pounds.
Yeah, it was still pretty gnarly.
Speaking of dogs, why do we not get a bunch of puppy videos?
Because mine hates the camera.
Bitch,
like
it's a dog.
Mine hates the camera.
No, she can tell the second I hit the camera button, she like bolts and hides behind the couch. I don't know how the hell she has figured it out, but she knows what it is now.
Dogs can hear way better than people.
Yeah, true.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep it on track. So cooking. So
Alex
we're talking about some
videos either, and he's got a pretty dog too.
So we talked about MREs. You kind of ran that into the ground. You talked about some ready to kind of eat things, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what's the next solution after that?
God, if it's up to me and I'm getting the cook how I want to, I'm bringing stuff for either the Blackstone or I've got a fire disc, which is like basically a bowl version of a Blackstone. And
okay.
I like to go to the Hispanic grocery stores where they have the pre-seasoned meats and stuff and get all that stuff. Or if I can make it down to, there's a Korean grocery store down in Duluth. It's called
Duluth, Georgia?
Yes.
There's a Korean grocery store in Georgia as a whole?
Yes. Yeah, there's actually a few of them. That one's just it's the size of like a Walmart, but it's all
shit.
Korean
All right.
And I'll go in there and load up on like kimchi, bulgogi, that kind of stuff. Take it with me. But
all right, hold on.
It just depends.
We just talked about not wanting to shit your pants, but you're loading up on kimchi before you go out and all that, right? Like,
yes, it helps.
Okay. It helps you shit your pants.
3-day event, though.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, if you eat it like on Saturday, you're gonna be home Sunday evening, and you're gonna be like, all right, it's time. You know.
Do you make your own? Do you make the kimchi, or are you buying it?
No, he just said he went to a Korean grocer.
Yeah. I just
pay attention, Paul.
That they've got.
Yeah. All right, so you're rocking a little Blackstone, I'm guessing, right? Just off the car, and this is when you're like next to the Tacoma, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even at campgrounds where I'm gonna cook on like the wooden table or whatever, like throw the Blackstone in there. If we go somewhere that's like super primitive, I just cook on the tailgate.
All right.
But
I dig it. What's the hold on. So you're bringing kimchi. So one, I love fucking kimchi. I think it's amazing. I eat it a couple times a week. It's amazing. What are you putting that on? Because you specifically said kimchi. Like, are you putting that over rice? Are you putting it over meat? All of the above?
No, it's a full-on side by itself.
Oh, you're eating it by itself. Okay.
Oh yeah. Like sometimes I'll fry or put some rice in the cooker here and then put it in a container and put it in the cooler before I go, and I'll fry some rice and maybe mix some in there, but most of the time it's just straight just eating the kimchi.
I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna throw it out there. You get those little Chinese sausages, right? You dice that bitch up. They're super red. They almost look like bright leaf, like Paul's favorite wieners, like little red rockets. And you dice some things up, you throw it in there with kimchi, and then throw rice in it. You make like a fried rice with it. It's absolutely insane. It tastes
really
delicious, and it is a Chinese kind of sausage deal, but you can get it at any kind of Asian market. It's pretty prevalent. It's really good. Like, it's a super salty, not spicy, because you're gonna get the spice from the kimchi, right? But it's absolutely fantastic. If you wanted to sub it out, you could do pepperoni if you wanted to be a super Anglo, right? But it's almost like sweet mixed with the spice from the kimchi mixed in the rice. It's so insane.
This
See,
motherfucker just said
I
you could make
finally
Chinese food with pepperoni. I swear to God.
I did not. I was talking about rice.
People, Chinese, you know how the white people have white people
Yeah,
taco
no, I was
night?
talking about
white
Chinese
people taco
sausage.
night.
Yeah, I was talking about, well, one, white people tacos are amazing. I love normal tacos, but white people tacos every once in a while, you just got to have some shitty ground beef, some Ortega, heavy doses of sour cream. Like, throw that shit on there. It's delicious.
Crispy
You can shake your head.
tortillas.
No,
Hey,
no,
I
it's
don't-
not crispy tortillas.
no.
You don't heat that tortilla at all. That's a white person taco. You never heat that tortilla.
Just pull it straight out the package. It's
What-
just a cold ass, broke ass tortilla.
Listen, it wasn't up until 2 years ago that I started heating tortillas at home, and now my family thinks they're fucking Hispanic. But I'm like, listen, like you guys were raised on cold ass bullshit flour tortillas right out of the pack. Shitty ground beef. Like sometimes that shit's good. I love an authentic taco. I will take that 9 times out of 10. But sometimes
That's what
you just want Taco Bell at home, and that
Flour
is white
tortillas
people
suck.
taco.
Give me corn all
I
day
grew-
long, though.
Yeah,
Corn.
I grew up
Corn
eating
tortillas.
just like that. And
Yeah.
so for my mom's birthday, I was like, I got it. I'll cook. My stepdad's got one of the giant Blackstones.
Mhm.
I went by the Hispanic grocery store right up the street, bought a bunch of
Wait, you guys have a
preseason
Hispanic
steak.
grocery store and a Korean grocery store in Georgia?
Yeah, actually, the Hispanic one's only like
Holy
a mile
shit.
from me. It's amazing.
Holy shit.
Look,
Look at Georgia. Just branching out.
we're growing up finally.
We're growing up.
But I went and got some preseason steak.
Yeah.
The actual corn tortillas and a
Right.
few other things. I go over there, I cook this for them, top it off with some Valentina, hand it to them. It like blew their minds.
Yes.
They're all like, "This is the best thing I've ever had in my life," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"We do this like every Saturday for football games." Like,
Yeah. It's usually actually easier too. Like making legit
It is.
tacos is easier than making white people tacos. 100%. Right? Because you have less bullshit you put on it, right? It's fresco, meat, whatever it is. That's about, and
Yeah.
some salsa,
Hey,
guac
back
maybe.
to camping.
Yeah.
You said you used a Blackstone.
Like you-
Do
Yes.
you have any isobutane little burners that you use, or
so I've got one of those little single burner ones that can run off propane or the butane cartridges. I take it if I'm gonna use my can cooker and do like a seafood bowl or something like that in it. But outside of
damn,
that, I
you got
don't
a
really
big
use
one
it.
then, huh?
Yeah, I got the
Yeah, he
biggest
does.
can cooker that they make.
He's
So
got the
I have-
biggest can that you can make.
Yeah,
I have a pocket rocket and a wind burner. I got 2 or 3 different little
He's got a
ISO burners.
oh,
but to-
yeah. So
but
those little
the
guys,
small ones, yeah.
yeah.
Those guys,
So-
to me, those guys. So when I do take dehydrated or freeze dried meals out, that's what we heat. That's what I heat the water up on. I got a white gas. I can't remember what it's
Racist.
called. It's a white gas burner stove.
Racist.
But I take that for all of those, and that's how I boil all my water, because those things it's quick, right? It's super duper
Yeah.
quick. All my
So-
coffee, all of my boiled water come with those. And I figured when you were saying you use, he's looking at his dog to make sure she doesn't throw up.
No, I was trying to see if I had my little stove set up sitting at the end of the bed like I
Well,
normally do.
keep
So
talking.
I-
I'll go grab one of mine. Actually, I'm
I
not.
normally
just-
when I'm doing the meals where I just got to boil water, I actually
Uh-huh.
use one of the alcohol stoves.
Okay.
Because it's lighter weight, it's more compact, less maintenance, all that. You don't got to worry about O-rings going bad and fuel tanks running out, whatever. But I just bought one of the little alcohol stoves and the I can't think of the brand name of the pots now. But
Hey,
they're,
does that run on White Claw Surge?
No.
Is that
no.
dual purpose?
So actually, what I use in it is that heat fuel treatment.
Okay.
That's
Heat.
what I throw in there.
From
The
Walmart, the yellow
HEET?
bottle. Yeah,
Yes.
the yellow bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's
So
all
I use
alcohol.
that for it. Yep. And it's
So-
you can get a thing of it for like $1.50.
All right. What's your favorite drink that you've made from that alcohol? What's the mixed drink that your favorite at the?
I don't
But
use
it's
it at
wrong
all.
alcohol.
Oh,
It's
But I would-
methanol.
I will say this is a hack that I figured out forever ago. If you're backpacking or kayak camping, bring water, those Mio drink mixes, get the lemonade one and a sweet tea one, and bring you some vodka, and you can make Arnold Palmer's in the backwoods without
There you
carrying
go.
a
Oh
bunch
my
of stuff.
God. This
There you
this
go.
might be the greatest thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
That's a solid,
Mio, yes, that is
iced
Arnold
tea,
Palmer's.
lemonade, Mios, water, and some vodka. Yeah,
There you
absolutely.
go.
Yep.
Hey, I will say this on the alcohol. You can bring the alcohol because you can refill it, but because when I cook, I use the little sternos. The sternos were real good as alcohol things too, and you can also
Yep.
refill those. But you the not the 85% alcohol, isopropyl alcohol that you get from Walmart or somewhere in the pharmacy department, those work good. But you got to be careful with alcohol because you can't see that flame
No,
sometimes.
the
But
flame's like invisible.
yeah,
Oh.
it's a light blue flame. You can't see it
If
sometimes.
you knock that thing over, you're in for a bad time.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
it's really hard to put it out. And that's actually like when they're doing burn bans or anything, you can't use those stoves.
Right.
That's the only time I pull out. I've got the MSR pocket rocket.
Yeah, pocket rocket. Yep, I got one of
I'll
those.
take it. Yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna tell
take
you
it
what,
when
you
that's
guys
going
keep
on.
saying pocket rocket. I think it's something totally different.
Well,
And I mean, I'm
because your
glad.
rocket
Well,
fits in
so
your pocket.
well, he's thinking like kind of. So I grew up poor. So at Christmas, they would give us a set of jeans with a pocket cut out of it, so that you had something to wear and something to play with.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
absolutely. Pocket
Wow.
rocket, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
kill
Wow.
two birds with one stone. You know.
I'm about to take some transition pants and make them into transition pocket rockets
I
tomorrow.
love that Smiley just said, like, we're progressing down in Georgia. When I was a kid, we used to cut a hole out to jerk off in, but now we have a Hispanic and a Korean grocer.
Well, back to camping, because this is towards the end of the year where people are having TOCs. They're having, their little things. We got one coming up this weekend. I was supposed to camp
Nobody
out and can't
cares.
go
Nobody
to.
cares, Paul. Nobody
But
cares.
that's the thing is when you go out and camping, when you go camping with a group of friends, typically people bring their own little stuff to cook on, and this is not hiking, right? This is truck camping.
Yep.
Being able to bring out different foods and to cook stuff on the Blackstone or any kind of grill or griddle that you have.
Sure.
Like that's what makes it fun because you're cooking a meal for a handful of people, 3 or 4 or 5
Yep.
folks, and being able to have that diversity to do that. What kind of are you using a Blackstone or are you using like an off brand like mine that I got for
No, he hit
$70?
9 million deer and got insurance from all of them. He's got Blackstones everywhere in his house.
And
No,
not a
so
nary one of them.
actually, here's the other hack. Anybody that's wanting to get like one of the 17-inch Blackstones, keep an eye on Walmart because every once in a while they mark the 17-inch ones down to like $60, and that's when I got mine. It was like $59.99, and I was like, well, I guess I need that.
Yeah.
And it's been the
Of course you
most
do.
used thing that I've got since then. So
I will say this too: be careful because Blackstone came out with a new camping stove this year, and it is, I think it's a Teflon coated type camping
yeah,
stove.
Ew.
yeah, don't buy those.
Well, look, they're neat, they're nice, they're easy to clean up, they're no stick, but you cannot use metal on those. You've got to bring out plastic or wood or something like that. And
But
if
you're also
you
getting a
camp like
shit
that,
ton of
that's fine.
plastic in your. Like, you shouldn't use Teflon
Yeah.
anywhere.
Well,
To be
anyway,
honest.
it doesn't matter.
I'm
You
not
don't
a
know.
big fan of Teflon because
But-
you cook some eggs on it one good time and they
Yeah.
stick, and then you've ruined your Teflon coat.
And you're also
Yeah.
eating all
I
that
don't like those.
Teflon in the eggs.
But the
Yeah.
stainless steel ones that you bring out, you gotta season it first.
Sure.
But those are the ones that you're talking about. You can get on sale, especially now because a lot of those
Yes.
little camping stoves are going to that Teflon coating,
Yeah,
and so
and everybody,
the
it's
good
almost
ones.
like the old style ones are becoming outdated. But in my
Right.
opinion,
and they're cheaper.
they're like cast iron. If you treat them right, it's the best thing you can cook on.
But it's a little more work, and people are having issues, right? Because it's a little more work. You got to keep them seasoned, just like cast iron is, right? Like you got to work a little bit, but it's
and it's the initial set. As long as you get them coated right initially, then it's just maintenance. Every time you clean it, you get it good and dry, and then you upload a light coating of oil and put it up, and you're good until the next trip.
Yeah, I got mine. Real quick, I got mine about year and a half, 2 years ago from Academy Sports. It is a 2-burner, quote unquote, Blackstone, right? Yeah. But it's Gourmet Chef, I think, is what is the name brand for Academy.
Oh yeah, those are good too, though.
Yeah, well, I got mine for like $45.
Oh shit!
And that has been I mean, when I cook bacon and spam and shit, that's like. But it's been great. I seasoned it right. It's awesome. We take it out. We cook it eggs. We cook everything. Toast bread and shit on it. And I got I converted it instead of one of the little 1 pound bottles. I converted it to where I ended up getting I think it's a 3 pound bottle from REI. Somebody returned it because they said metal was in it. But it's the valve switch was shaken and never been used, never been filled.
Yeah.
I got that for, I don't know, things like a $200 bottle, which is stupid expensive.
That's the Ignic, I think is how you say it.
I don't know. I can go look at it, but it's a little 3 pound bottle, comes in a case. I got that thing for like $60.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it's been great because I haven't filled it in a year and a half, and I've used the shit out of it.
So I got one of the 5 pound ones off Amazon for like $65, and that's what I'll usually use with that. Unless if we're staying really close to the truck, I take my big 20 pound tank or whatever it is.
Yeah, if you're going to get one of these, I would highly suggest that if it's plumbed for one of the 1 pound bottles, go ahead and get the attachments that you need that you can connect it to
larger
the
tank.
Typical size. Your grill propane is a 40 pound tank. Now, if you can carry that, I've carried it before. If you can, that's fine. But then you can go to Amazon, you can go to REI, and you can find like 3 and 5 pound, 10 pound. You can find these smaller ones that are easy to carry. Go ahead and convert it to that, because those 1 pounders, they will ice up once you get about halfway done with it. And if you're doing a lot of cooking, they'll ice up, and then they don't burn as good. And they're a pain in the ass. And I honestly don't trust them from exploding, even though I've never had one. But
I don't think I've ever had one of those 1 pound ones last for a whole weekend of camping and cooking.
Really?
No. Well,
have you ever had one explode on you, Smiley?
No. I've had them freeze, and they wouldn't let any more fluid out though.
Right.
All right. So here's what we do.
Explode,
hold on, Paul.
But I had one freeze, and then I guess the connection wasn't good, so fucking that bitch lit on fire.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Lit on fire, and it was a little scary. I thought quick and turned the shit off, and then unscrewed it and got my hair arms burned off. But anyway, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, no, it was just a shitty bit. But
look, I'm not good at telling stories. I'm good at picking on people like Smiley and Smiley Returns.
Hey, Smiley. So if we can get you to, I'll send you. You know what? I'll not only send you a picture, a painting of a bear. I'll send you a full 1 pound canister. If you can shoot that with the arrow and make it explode, that'd be fucking awesome.
Right? Well, all right. So I watched a YouTube video about that the other day. You have to have some kind of mini explosive cartridge on the end of the arrow for it to blow up.
I'll make that
off of Timo.
That dude,
Timo.com has one of those. I'm 100% sure.
Well, that dude spent like $1,600 getting arrows made and cartridges made to make that happen. Yeah, like
I can't.
Well, he was like a 2-hour Timo. He was on Alibaba.
I can't just put like 15 boxes of poppets on the end of the arrow.
No. If that would work, I would have all kinds of content, because I'd just be blowing
it's like I would blow up shit daily.
Look, he's gonna go try it this weekend though. Smiley's gonna go grab a bunch of poppets. You'll be like, let me see what this will explode on.
Smiley, you said you
ATF
like
is going to be knocking on his
Smiley, you said you like editing, so just edit it in. Just fucking edit it in.
We just make it look like it worked.
My man
That's the great thing
bear.
about the internet. Nobody knows. But
Nobody knows. My man bear Paul picture exploding. Nobody needs to know that there was some CGI in it.
Oh,
all right, so we've covered. All right, so that's how we eat. So the other part of, and we covered this last time you were here. And we need to cover it again, I think, is just the comfort. So how are we sleeping while we're out there? We figured out how to keep our bellies full, how to keep us kind of moving. Not you, Paul. Nobody gives a fuck what you're saying. We want to know what Smiley says. I see you trying to talk. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up, Paul. Shut up, Paul. I know. I'm going to ask him that. Nobody gives a fuck about yours. Shut up. Go ahead, Smiley. What's your sleeping system?
Well, so it depends on the trip, and that's where it comes down to. There's really 3 different ways to set up your sleep system, in my opinion.
Okay.
You're either going to do hammocks, which is, we'll go over that. Traditional tent camping, which there are now so many levels of that. That's a whole thing in itself. And then what I call car camping, which is either you're in an SUV and you've set up the back as a bed.
Right.
You've got a camper shell like I've got. You've set that up as a bed. Or you got a rooftop tent like I've got. And you set
All
that
right,
up.
so let's go with the easiest. What's the easiest barrier for somebody to get into?
The easiest is definitely going to be just regular tents.
Okay.
And this can vary. The big thing is tents have been around for so long that you can go anywhere from getting an $80 tent up to, I think my one ultralight backpacking tent was like $900 or something like that. I don't know. It was ridiculous.
It's a Dyneema. I'm assuming it's a Dyneema.
I've actually got 2 Dyneema tents now. So
that's good. That's a good insurance money.
It's probably it's a 2-person tent that weighs like.
But it's just Smiley. Ounces. It's just one person.
I think it weighs. So I've got the one that is the 2-person one weighs, I think, 13 ounces.
Oh,
12 ounces.
That's a little over a beer. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the 1-person one is only like it's like 10 ounces. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But Dyneema is also 100% waterproof. I mean, unless
fully
you got
waterproof.
a hole in it, it is not gonna leak through like the $50 4-person tent you get from Walmart, and it rains half an inch. It's gonna be dripping on you. The floor is gonna be wet and shit like that.
Yeah.
Those Dyneema tents are a different ballgame.
Hold on, but what's a middle ground there other than the $900 tent? What's the good starting point for somebody wanting to do this? And it doesn't have to be it could be the super cheap Walmart one, but $900 is a lot for somebody who's like, I'm just going to get into this to drop some cash on.
And if you're not backpacking, you don't need to buy either one of those tents. They're meant for like backpacking and kayak camping.
Okay.
So if you're going like car camping, I mean, you can range anywhere from I think it's like $120, the Coleman 4-person tent. That thing's amazing.
Even if there's only one person, just say you're a super lonely Smiley, no females, no nothing in your life. A 4-person is fine.
Yeah, because you're gonna want room to stand up and change clothes and all that, and like actually put your stuff in there with you. Yeah,
people that are doing that kind of camping want to put an air mattress in it. It's plenty of room for that.
Yeah, and those air mattresses that go in a tent that size are significantly cheaper than, like, if you buy a 1 or 2-person tent, you're limited on the air mattress size because of vertical height usually, and you're going to end up paying for a backpacking air mattress, and none of those that have insulation are cheap.
Okay,
so if you're going more budget, go ahead and get that tent. Get you another
4-person
air mattress.
one. Okay.
3 or 4-person. Yep.
Yeah. And just roll with that. I think on those you have to buy the rain fly separate. They come with like a little bitty cover, but you can get a full-on rain fly to go over them, and they're amazing.
Okay.
And if you want to spend a little more and want something a little more small, REI, fantastic. They got a few 2 or 3 person tents that are pretty budget minded that are their brand that they work great. I know a few people that just use those and have for the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so I've got Carter when I camp in a hammock. And so I've got a hammock set up, but I bought Carter a 2-person REI tent. I can't remember what it is right now, but that he sleeps in that. It'd be tight for 2 people, you know, 1 person my size and 1 Alex's size.
Okay, well, your size is giant.
But we have been in some torrential downpours with his that little tent from REI. Yeah, I got it on sale too. No water, no leakage in it. We put a footprint down so we don't have any moisture coming up from the ground. And this has been great. I will say this about the REI. REI stuff is kind of like when you buy a Toyota, that's the REI. And if you want to step up to a Lexus, then that's when you get into the higher dollar range. But the REI is like the Camry of tent camping because they're very well made. They're very well made, but they're not going to kill your budget. There's some other things that are different on it, but the REI tents from a money perspective are worth every penny. It's the Camry of camping.
Now, I will say, like, if somebody's not on a super tight budget, like, say they got like $350 to spend on a tent, and they want something that's like the nicest, easiest to set up and take down thing on the planet, and that level of reliable, the Gazelle hub tent, the T4, is don't buy the T4 Plus. I had one of those. I got rid of it within like 2 trips. But the T4 is you literally walk around and pull panels and it pops up. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I've got one of those.
That's easy.
Yeah, before I bought the rooftop tent, I used the crap out of that thing and loved it. I'd throw a cot in there. You can actually fully stand up in it. Like, it's amazing.
Nice.
Hey, real quick on tents, do you use a footprint or does it matter what it is? What's your thought on footprints?
It depends on the tent material.
What do you mean footprint?
All right, so a footprint
it's like a safety layer.
Yeah, so it's what you lay down on the ground and then you put your tent on it. So it can be a cheap ass little gray tarp, blue tarp from Walmart, or you can buy a specific footprint that is made for your tent. But it is a protected layer that goes down on the ground, and then your tent sits on that. So, all right, Smiley, tell us about some footprints.
It depends on both the tent material and where you're camping at. So if you're camping somewhere that's like got a lot of rocks or pine needles and stuff like that can poke holes in the material, get some kind of footprint to put down. But like, I tell a lot of people, just get you a Tyvek sheet off of Amazon for like $25. Lay it down and then set the tent on top of it and set it up because it's fully waterproof. You don't have to worry about water wicking up through it and all that. And
it's interesting. I never thought about that. You go steal a 10 by 10 footprint off a construction site of Tyvek real easy. Just cut it right
Smiley,
off the wall after they hang it.
Smiley endorses stealing Tyvek from construction sites is what we're getting from this.
I love it.
But I would do that. That's the cheapest option, and you can cut it to where it fits your tent exactly, and you got to worry about it.
All right.
Dude, that's a fucking good. I never thought about Tyvek, but that shit makes 100% sense.
Yes, it's great. So when I first started backpacking, which I actually still carry that when I'm going to sketchy places where I'm like, I don't want my, fancy tent on that kind of terrain. I take that, lay it down, and set the tent up.
All right.
But a lot of tents are tougher than you think they'd be. So unless you're going to be on anything that potentially poke some holes in it, it's usually not a big concern. But like I said, go somewhere that's got a bunch of gravel or pine needles, put something down.
Okay. I would say what we're talking about is going to be more of a moisture issue, right? You know, where
So
as kayak anglers, we're probably at campgrounds where it's gravel
near
or
water.
just wood. So
Yeah.
we're thinking more in the terms of moisture wicking up
So
through or whatever.
like in your area where you're at up in North Carolina is the only place I've ever had that happen.
Hmm.
Out of all the places I've
Oh.
been to, I've never had it wick up through the bottom. There's something about that being a perpetual rainforest borderline is just it causes that.
Mhm.
But most places no, you don't have to worry about that as much unless there's just an extreme amount of rain. But
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
so I think most places kind of actually. I'm going to argue this one a little bit, just because you actually are lucky, Smiley. You have it's not called backing or anything. It's called cousin backing, right? You just lay on top of your cousins, and they block all that shit from coming through. Most of us have to just lay on the ground, so it's different, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so that comes into play too. The actual what you're laying on plays a
Right.
massive role in what you're going to experience, and
Yeah.
ventilation in the tent too, because a lot of that wet that you experience in the mornings inside of a tent is from you breathing.
Right.
So you've got to get a good airflow going
So
through
stop
to
breathing.
get that out. Well, no, it's just you got to have it a way to get out.
So
that's
Smiley
another
so
thing with
far,
that.
the 3 points he's put in here is 1, steal your shit from construction sites. 2, lay on top of your cousin. 3, make sure not to breathe in a tent. Is his kind of, this is
Basically.
for the social media. Like, these are your quick 3 tips for camping.
Those are the best ones.
Huh.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
what was it?
On sleeping bags.
How do
Let's talk about
you
that.
sleep? How do you sleep? Do
No,
you
no, no.
close your
Well,
eyes or
no, no. Hold on, because sleeping bags. If you're down in my area, you know the most people are going to be sleeping is in 30 degrees at the most, and when you're camping, it's going to be more than that. But let's just use the cold weather sleeping 40 to 30 in that range. Like, are we doing down? Are we doing synthetic? What's the different ratings? Because some are rated for survival, which means that if it's 40 degrees, that you might can survive 40 degrees, and some are rated for comfort, which is if it's 40 degrees, you got a
Yeah.
40-degree sleeping bag. Like, tell us what you do when it comes down to sleeping bags, or not even sleeping bags anymore. They have the
Top quilts.
top quilts.
That's what I use most of the
Okay.
time.
Why? Start off with that. Why top quilt over a sleeping bag?
he likes a little
So
binky when he goes to bed.
I love binkies.
well, so I spent a lot on insulated sleep pads. So I've got actual insulation from the underside. So that thing, just being able to treat it more of like a blanket or button it
Yeah.
up and treat it like a sleeping bag, like
Mm.
it's more comfortable. And I flop a lot in my sleep,
More
so
versatile.
yes, and it just
Okay.
makes it a lot better. When it comes to down and synthetic, I feel like down's a little warmer, but not enough to justify the money if that's all you're looking for, because you can get a lower rated synthetic bag for significantly cheaper than you can a down.
Hundreds of $100.
So, oh yeah. So if you're going, you got to check what your brand's rating is, because they have to be upfront about whether it's a survival rating or a comfort rating. If it's not a mom and pop shop, they're probably posting survival ratings.
Okay.
What does that mean?
So like the mom and pop shops are kind of like, oh my God, I can't think of the name of that company. It's actually a company that makes my quilt.
Well, just tell us
Smaller.
if you're
Is it
going to
from
Walmart,
the Korean
if you're
grocer?
going to
No.
if you're going to Walmart and buying a sleeping bag, we're going camping 2 or 3 times a year.
That's survival.
100%.
Okay.
100% survival.
Okay. So tell us what is if you go to buy that sleeping bag and it says 45 degrees, what does that mean?
That means I'm going to be comfortable in it down to about 55 degrees.
Okay. All right.
So, but as it gets colder, it gets worse.
Right.
So you go to Walmart and get a 20-degree bag, you're probably going to be miserable in the 30s. Honestly, you're not going to die, but you're not going to be like, all right, that was good.
You're not gonna die.
But and so the pros and cons with synthetic and down both have pros and cons. Down is harder to care for. You cannot leave it stored compressed. You have to hang it up in your closet, have it unsquished, or it loses its loft, which gives it warmth. Synthetic, you can abuse it. It can get wet. It doesn't matter. It's still going to perform exactly how it did the day you bought it for years. It just does not pack down as small.
So you can't get the down, you can't get wet?
If down gets wet, it loses all insulation properties until it dries back out.
Right.
So, and that's why with kayak camping, I tend to tell people I lean more towards taking synthetic gear kayak camping. Just in case it does get wet, I can build a fire, kind of dry it off enough where I'm not going to feel like I'm sleeping in a wet bag, but it'll still be warm. Down gear, not so much.
So if you're going camping and it's supposed to be, 35 degrees and you're shit, I need a sleeping bag, then you're saying you probably need to get a synthetic bag because from my experience, synthetic and down, huge difference, as you said earlier. But you're going to want to get something probably around 10 degrees less than what you think you're going to be sleeping in.
At least. I honestly, I tend to say go colder than what you think you'll need with synthetic because you can vent it.
Yeah, you can always unzip and stick that leg out.
Yeah, which is actually more enjoyable than.
No, listen, I do that at home. Listen, at the Castongway house, we just moved from summer blankets to winter blankets because it was 80 degrees today, but it's going to drop to 30 degrees tonight, right? Huge fucking temperature swings. It's gnarly, right? But and my kids are upset because they still have 2 more days. I refuse to turn the heat on until November 1st. Just because I'm trying to save a little bit of cash. These motherfuckers can put more blankets on, right? I don't give a fuck. But anyways, today was the day that we put the big, heavy flannel blanket on the bed, right? It's amazing. The best part about it is when it's nice and cozy. And then I hook that leg out, just put that leg out in that cold air. Like it's the best thing ever. No, I mean,
that's true.
You guys
dude.
not relate, right?
It is. It is.
Right. Like you're sitting there, everything's all warm and toasty, and then you just hook that one leg out to get a little cold, 100%. So you can so you can feel the toasty almost more, like you can appreciate it better. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh shit, this leg's a little chilly. But the rest of me is warm. I love it. I love it.
It evens out. Hey, speaking of sleeping pads, air mattresses, and sleeping bags.
And quilts and tents.
And quilts, top quilts. Good call. What about a pillow? Because one of the things that I love about
really a thing? Is that a thing with camping?
Listen.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about hammock camping is my pillow doesn't slide off the back of my hammock. It doesn't slide off the side of the sleeping pad. Like it is always.
I can just put
there.
whatever
like
fucking pillow there. Come on, I can just put whatever pillow there.
But no, dude. I mean, if you sleep, I mean, if you've ever been camping and had a pillow, that bitch slides off the back of the mattress.
It goes everywhere.
Whatever. Yeah. What do you have one of those little covers that hold it in, or what do you do for pillows? In that.
So if I'm backpacking, I take inflatable pillows. I only buy the ones that have a little stretch band strip on them. So I'll strap it around the mattress. Yeah.
Really?
I have modified. I bought some of the. I think it's Climate that makes them, but the recycled foam pillows. Mm-hmm. I love those. Those are my favorite. Like hand down, those are my go-to. If I can take it, that's what I'm taking. I modified those.
KLYMET. Climate.
MIT.
MIT.
So
okay.
So I modified mine. I actually went and bought some of that stretch banding and sewed it onto the ends of it.
Okay.
So I do the same thing. I put a band around the actual sleep pad. I haven't figured
all
out
right. We're
anything
getting
for like
hold
a
on.
cot
We're
yet,
getting
but
excessive. It's just
No,
like being
dude.
in your fucking bed. If the pillow
No,
moves,
it's
you
not.
just fucking
no,
move it.
no.
No, dude,
Stop.
even if you have
I have
a air
camped
mattress in
before.
your
You
tent,
know,
even if
listen,
you have an
stop.
air
You guys
mattress
are
in
being
your
excessive.
tent, that pillow is
No.
sliding off the back of the air mattress.
Who
Yeah,
You're gonna have a
cares?
crick in the
I
back
don't
of your
know.
neck.
I don't know what the deal is with pillows and inflatable sleep pads
You
and
guys are
mattresses,
killing.
whatever.
It's nothing.
Look,
You're
listen,
making a
They
big
just
deal. No, it
they do
sounds
not
like
when's the last
say
time
that.
you've been Alex, when's the last time you've been camping?
I went
Exactly.
camping
Not
6 years ago.
military camping. See, exactly 6 years ago. And
But
you know
guess
what?
what?
He was
You
33
just fucking
years
put
old.
a
He was
pillow
33 years old. He didn't need a pillow then.
close.
We're all
Oh,
in our
stop!
So
Just
late
put a
30s,
fucking
early
pillow.
40s.
Smiley's only 24. He just looks 44.
Actually, God, how old am I? I'm 34. Yeah.
I know.
Oh my God.
I had to think about that.
But anyways, okay, we can talk about pillows. That's fine if you guys want to talk about it. But just to be clear, listeners, Alex is on the side of just go buy a fucking $5 pillow from Walmart. You'll be fine.
Well, so that's the other thing. I've started like with the rooftop tent. I went to Dollar General. I bought some of those like Stay Cool $5 pillows at Dollar General. That's what I use in it. Like if you're going to be real close to the car, just get some of those. Throw a pillowcase on them or roll with it.
Yes, we don't need anything fancy with elastic and fucking Yeti space technology on it. Just grab a fucking pillow. You're camping anyways. Like, stop.
Well,
Stop.
it depends on what you like. If you're gonna go carry it through the woods some, or if you're gonna carry it on the kayak, those pillows.
Sleep on a rock.
No, don't do that. You don't have to be uncomfortable.
Listen, Bass and Bruce says sleep on a rock. Smiley says don't, but we say sleep on a fucking rock. Just be a man. Sleep on a rock.
But I think that should cover everything on tents.
Okay. All right. So we went from I think we covered all of that extensively.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one you said was, what's the next affordable one?
Hammocks.
Hammocks is the next one you would go into.
I'm kind of torn between hammocks and the car camp because depending on which route you go with car camping.
Let's go hammocks because I feel like car camping is just like, listen, I got some thoughts on car camping. I'll make it real cheap. Just sleep in your fucking car and put the seat back. It's real easy.
Yeah. Hammocks hammocks. Jabber's gonna know a lot about this too.
Yeah. Well, that's the only problem is he's gonna talk about hammocks for hours. So I want like I'm going to set a 20-minute limit on hammocks.
All right.
Whole different experience in a good way.
It is. And it's, in my opinion, way more comfortable than any other way I've camped once you learn how to set it up right and get the right
As long as you learn how to put the elastic band on your fucking $900 pillow. Gotcha.
No. So with the hammocks, because you can go one of two ways, and I like the bridge hammocks better.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will get the traditional ones, which don't go by like an Eno or something like that because they're not long enough or wide enough for you to get a diagonal way in.
Eno
that's the key.
is a lounging hammock. It's not a anyway.
Yeah, it's not a camping hammock. It's a go hang out in the sun. But I would say look at brands like Dream Hammock. What is it? Dutchware Gear.
Dutchware.
I love the Dutchware hammocks. Actually, my ex stole mine. I'm really mad about that still.
Bless her heart.
What an asshole.
Yes. So, brands similar to that. Why you gotta say dude? It's not a dude.
Well, chicks can be dudes as well. Don't be weird.
Easy now.
Yeah.
All right.
But so those brands for the gathered in hammocks, that's what I'd look at. Get you an easy suspension setup. Yep. Superior too. I like Superior because they got the built-in insulation, don't they?
Yeah. So all right, real quick.
We don't want to hear about Paul. No, we want to hear from Smiley, not you.
With hammock camping, if you want a hammock camp, you have to get an underquilt and it's a quilt that goes on the hammock. And The Superior Gear, they're out of Minnesota. That's the hammock that I have.
It's
They
sewn
have it
in.
built in. And
Yeah.
so you get the 30 degree,
Actually,
45 degree, whatever.
It's really cool. Like I like that design.
Yeah.
I actually want to get one of those and try it out.
Well, Dutchware just came up with a sewed in underquilt.
Hey, Paul, what was the name of the brand you use?
Superior.
Listen, I will absolutely vouch for that, because if this fucking fat fuck can sit in that thing without it fucking splitting, it's gotta be Superior.
Hold on. Look, speaking of fat
Nope,
fucks,
nope, you don't get to
myself,
derail. Nope,
I was
nope,
200.
stop.
No, you got to listen. This is relevant, bitch. This is relevant.
Nobody cares about your journey. We already covered it.
Myself, 270 pounds at the time.
Yeah.
And Bobby Roast Beef, who's a big boy himself.
He's a big boy.
He came down.
You're in it
me,
together?
First fishing trip ever. No, but we both sat in it, and Bobby almost flipped himself out the back. But that hammock, and I have a stand too. So sometimes I hang it in a tree if I got good trees. I also have a stand that I hang it in, and the stand's unbelievable if you don't have trees. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I had it on the stand, and it held us both. But Superior's good because it does have that built-in underquilt, so you don't have to hang one.
It has a built-in Jabberhammer rated weight limit.
Yeah, true. 350 pounds, baby.
So that's one of the tricky things with the hammocks too, is getting your underquilt adjusted right so that it doesn't slide out from under you and where it's positioned right. Like there's a learning curve with hammocks between the hang angles, figuring out your gaps on trees, all that, setting up your tarps.
Once you set it up,
it is. Once you get it down, it's amazing. And anybody that's wanting to get into it, I would suggest looking up Sugar Marie, I think is how you say it, on YouTube.
Spell it.
It's SHUG. Yeah,
it's just Shug.
Shug.
If you just do SHUG Shug
it'll pop up.
Facebook, it'll pop up. Or I'm sorry, not Facebook. On YouTube, Shug. SHUG Shug he's one of the he's
the OG.
He's one of the best. Yep,
he's the guy that he taught everybody I know how to hammock camp. Like that's where I learned what I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of why I don't do hammock tutorials, because like he's already covered it. There's no point in duplicating.
Has he covered hammocks? Seem awesome, right? But has he covered specifically? How do you get a chick in them? Because it seems like it's just a bunch of dudes jerking their dicks off in a hammock by themselves.
There's a
that's all it is.
You get a wide enough hammock, and you can make babies in them.
All right, so just to clear this up real quick before we go more into hammocks, if you want to have sex, don't get a hammock, get a tent, is what you're saying.
Basically.
Okay, cool.
If you want to sleep by yourself, get a hammock.
All right, cool.
But you gotta get the fucking hammock.
Loser.
Don't buy the Eno is a good lounge if you want, like Smiley said, hang out in the sun.
Yeah,
that's good. That's not sleeping.
That's what I got. I got a hammock. I got an Elo.
That's the first hammock I bought, and it was when I stayed at Santee with Bailey almost 3 years ago.
His big booty butt fit in that hammock.
No, we weren't there together, motherfucker. Okay. He had a Taj Mahal tent with all this shit in it, but I had the Eno, and it was not very comfortable because it was not. It was
I love that
hammock.
I love that hammock in my backyard.
So that's another thing. Like, even if you're looking at budget hammocks, make sure they're like 12 feet long and have a built-in ridge line, because the ridge line is what makes the difference.
Yep, ridge line, which you can still do your own ridge line, but you have to learn how to tie knots and shit. And
it's a pain.
Regardless, if you're going to buy a hammock, you're going to start hammock camping, it's got to be at minimum 11 foot. If you get anything less than that, unless you're Alex's size, then you can get a 5-foot hammock and you fit in it like a glove.
Oh, dude. Like a little cocoon. I feel like a little caterpillar.
But for the rest of us, you need at minimum an 11-foot hammock.
Well, and a good budget pre-made one to check out, I've actually got one. I've used it a ton, is Dream Hammock. Their Darien model, you can buy the pre-made ones. They're pretty affordable.
Okay.
And they're so comfortable. And it comes with the bug net, the ridge line, like they're set up. You can pick which way you want to lay. Like it's great.
What would you
I've
say would
gotten
be the hang up with hammocks? Why would you not recommend a hammock to like kayak anglers going out that are camping at the state parks?
the only thing for me is there's so many components you have to buy individually, and
Okay.
depending on your preferences for how you want to set it up,
Yeah.
you can do like
Like if
my
you want to
dream
get
hammock.
bitches or not.
Well, no, just being. I don't know.
We're fishing. There ain't no bitches
Yeah,
fishing.
Shit, my bad.
if you want to get synthetic insulation, you could probably buy a dream hammock, a tarp from oh my god, I wish I could think of that brand name.
Harbor Freight.
No,
That's a good guess though. Harbor Freight has
Thanks.
everything
it
for
was.
cheap.
It was.
Trying.
God, I can't think of those guys' names. They
Cool.
just got
Let's
into
move.
the actual. But anyways, you can get an affordable tarp from them with like line lock tie outs and all that, where you can adjust it for like $80.
Harbor Freight, you can get it for 20. Got you guys. Go to Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight bungee cords, $20. You get a Harbor Freight tarp and bungee cords.
Bungee cords. You won't be able to breathe underneath that fucking thing, but it will be tight.
But you have to have a tarp. You have to have something over you.
You
Not
do,
even for rain, but
yeah, because like the sap off trees and everything. Like,
oh, that sounds atrocious. No bitches. You're talking about sap. Like this sounds like the worst version of camping ever.
It's actually really like it's amazing.
Oh, this sounds like the serious angler version of fishing. It just sounds sterile and Amish.
I want to say it's hammock gear.
Yes, that's
trying
it.
to use my iPad.
No, it's good. You're right. It's hammock gear.
Okay.
I like how Smiley just said he's 34, but he sounded like an old man going, I'm trying to use my iPad here to find out about my hammock.
I've also only got like one contact in.
It's hammock gear. You're right. It's hammock gear.
I got one contact in. Where's your other contact?
I got this eye's good. This one ain't.
What?
That's why you can't build in caterpillars. You got bad eyes.
I sneezed and it fell out. But yeah, check it. Like hammock, you can actually buy a full setup from Hammock Gear. It comes with the insulation, the hammock, the tarp, everything. That's pretty affordable.
Let's go.
If I was just getting into it and wanted to camp in them, that's where I'd go. I think Dutchware does the same thing now. But I started using a bridge hammock. I bought this thing used off Facebook. A guy in Florida shipped it to me for like half what the thing is new. It was an incredible.
He needed
deal.
meth. Yep.
Yeah. Tell us what a bridge hammock is versus what we've been talking about. What's the difference?
So a bridge hammock, where a traditional gathered end, it's the ends of it are folded up. The lineage comes out of it at the end. A bridge hammock has almost like a tunnel setup with two spreader bars. Yeah, it's got spreader bars at each end. So your lines come off the corners and meet up at a V and then go up to the tree. The downside to it is...
Hold on real quick. I thought a bridge hammock was a dirty sack of potatoes you hung underneath a bridge to look for strange trolls. So, yeah, exactly.
No,
so
Scott Rogers.
Totally different. Scott Rogers.
Scott Rogers. But no friggin'. So the downside of the bridge hammocks is
you got to play.
There's two. There's two.
You got to pay the troll toll. That's the problem with the bridge hammock.
So you need a wider gap between the trees for them because of that extra cordage to make the spread. So that makes it a little tough sometimes. I've ran into times where I'm like, damn, there's not a big enough gap, and I've had to get creative. Most of them, though, can be set up as ground tents, too, which works out good. The one that I've got is a double layer setup, so I can use a sleep pad for underside insulation. So if I do have to use it as a tent, when I set it up, I've already got a sleep pad. What's that?
Hey, that's real quick. You just said something about having that insulation under you. If you're going to sleep in a hammock and the temperature is 55, 50 degrees or less, you have got to have something under you for insulation, an under quilt or something, not something that you lay in, because do y'all know when you go over a bridge, especially in the South, I don't know anywhere else, it
The
says
troll
bridge
toll.
ices before the road. It's because you
Yup.
have all of that cold
it's
air
cold.
coming
Yeah.
underneath the bridge. So if you do get a hammock and you're sleeping in temperatures 50 degrees or less, you've got to have something not under you, but underneath the hammock to keep you from getting fucking cold as shit. It's called the cold butt syndrome or some bullshit that they call it.
Yes. Yeah.
You've got to have
And
some insulation underneath if you're going to
what
hammock camp. Otherwise, your top of your body will be nice, but your back,
Hey.
ass, and legs will be fucking freezing.
Hey, cold
Well,
butt
and a lot of
syndrome. Does
that-
it matter on the
Yes,
length
that's it.
of
Cold butt.
Yeah,
No.
but does it matter
Yeah.
on the meat of the butt? Like, is Bailey gonna be more
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Is he safer because
it
Bailey
sucks.
has a
No.
giant butt?
No,
No,
not at
it
all.
sucks the body heat right out of you.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It's just like a bridge.
Sucks
Bridge
Um,
ices
body heat
before
right
the
out
road.
of the butt.
So, and the other thing to that is, I hear all these people. They're like, "Well, if I just take a really insulated sleeping bag and lay in it, it'll be fine." The problem is you lay on top of the insulation, you squish it down, it loses its
Mhm.
loft, which is its
Okay.
insulation factor. So it hangs below the hammock, and you're not decompressing it that way, and it's just keeping you warm.
That's why
So
superior hammocks are so good, because you don't have to worry about that. You've already got it in there. And I
yeah,
slept in
it's
a
built in.
superior hammock. My superior hammock, I think, is a 45-degree under quilt. And then I was in 20 degrees last year and I camped. And I had a 35-degree quilt, 45-degree under quilt. Now, I was testing my limits. I had a down jacket on. I was testing my limits in 20 degrees in North Carolina. You got to understand too, in North Carolina, I was right by the lake. There's a lot of fucking humidity coming up in there. It was colder and shit. I woke up in the middle of the night and had to go put wool socks on. But also with the superior gear, you can modify shit, and I modified it. But you have got that's the good thing. You got to have that underquilt. Like,
Yep.
Camping in a hammock in the summertime is easy.
Yes.
In the wintertime,
you need almost nothing.
You gotta know what the fuck you're doing, or you're gonna be miserable.
Or you could just be in a
lay.
tent with
Yeah, true.
bitches.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
true. But so the bridge hammock, what I figured out is it ends up being it's more comfortable in my bed at home. Like if I could set that thing up in my bedroom, I would sleep in it all the time because it's just that good.
There's nothing in the wood paneling for you to put that hammock up in.
The room ain't big enough.
Yeah, look, with an 11-foot, 12-foot hammock, you need like 18 feet of string.
One of my air.
Both of them died.
It may be.
It's all right. He's getting there.
So you're still pretty. I'll still kiss you.
But
I still kiss you.
but yeah,
Fucking big teeth and all.
the other challenge with the bridge hammock is you have to have a tarp with spreader bars on the tarp to keep it out away from your actual hammock spreader bars. So the setup on it is like I wouldn't suggest getting into a bridge hammock as a beginner, like at all.
Sounds like a nightmare.
All right, we've been an hour and 39 minutes, almost an hour and 40 minutes. We have got to talk about the car top tents and that shit, because in the last 2 years of me camping with people locally of mine, I have seen so many of the car top tents, and these are the people that you see with Jeeps, with Tacomas. When you see the shit on top of there, Geo Metro would work. But when you see this thing on top of a vehicle, a Tacoma, a 4Runner, Those are
Geometro.
the car top tents. Geometro, they don't make them anymore, but a Geometro would be awesome. I mean, that's like 45 miles to the gallon.
Exactly.
But when you get into that, I've seen so much more of these car top type tents over the last year and a half, that Smiley has tricked his shit out. Go look at his page, and he has a lot of videos on it. Talk to us about that, the advantages of it, and why you went that way, because you love a hammock. You just said you love a hammock.
I
But
do.
why did you go that way?
So most of it is like with my particular tent, I walk
Alex,
around, I unzip it, I
Alex, you
push
should
up
bring
on
up
it.
a picture of his shit so we can see
Shut
it.
up. I'm not bringing up
That's true.
anything. Shut up.
But
Bitch.
I can, like with my tent,
I'm
I
not
can
bringing
walk
up
around,
anything.
unzip it,
Yeah.
push it up, hook the ladder on the side. I'm ready to go. That's like
Yeah.
literally all it takes to set my tent up. I can set it up in like 3 minutes. I can
Can
take it down in
people
about 8.
go inside of that tent?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So
So
bitches.
yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
So the fact that I don't have to carry anything,
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
having
all
to
there.
clean anything from being on the ground when I get home.
Mm.
It's got an actual mattress in it, and I put an actual foam topper on top of the mattress. It's super comfortable.
Yeah.
But just the simplicity of it and being right there at the truck, like, I mean, I got the shower set up and everything on there now, and a big awning that rotates out. Like, it's just
But
handy
obviously
all the way around.
the big downside obviously is price, correct?
Yes.
Price is the killer. Well, so the Inspired Overland is the one that I've got. It's
Mm-hmm.
if you can find a dealer local, they're like $9.99. Oh. You can go online and get them, and then pay that
Yo,
plus
how did
whatever.
his sound all of a sudden
Yeah,
get
your
louder
sound
and
just went
sound
really
amazing
weird.
too?
My
It
AirPod.
died. Yeah, it died.
So
You're all right. You actually sound better without the AirPods in.
Yeah. Keep going. You sound good. You sound delicious.
So the price is the big downfall. It's one of those things that's not very budget friendly to get into, because you're going to need some kind of rack to carry it on. Like in my case, I got lucky. The Bangor Overland is a local company, probably 45 minutes from me. I got the camper shell from them with the crossbars, and they're built similar to a Smart Cap, but way cheaper. And they hooked me up with that. Then I bought the rooftop tent and went from there. But it is one of those, if you're going to go that route, between the rack, the tent, everything, depending on what you go with, you're looking at $2,500 to $3,000.
Yeah.
For entry level stuff. Yeah.
That's spending.
So that's something though. If you look at the cost of it, you don't have to store it in your garage or attic or anywhere like that. It's always there, and it's the ease, right? You're paying for ease of setup, is what it sounds like. Okay.
So, and I would even, which I've been looking at them lately. I'm thinking about getting one for when people go with me, just for extra room. There's a company, I think it's like Topper Tent or something like that. They make a thing that stays hard mounted inside of your camper shell that pretty much rolls down. You let the tailgate down, and it turns your whole truck bed into an extended tent.
Dude, Smiley's got a whole orgy factory in the making, ready to set up in his truck.
So, and those are way more, like, if you're somebody that's got a truck that's got a camper shell, you're already gonna be hauling a bunch of stuff. That's something. I think those are like $350 to slap in there.
That's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've basically got the same deal. You might have to blow up or something, but that's the same thing. Your vehicle. So,
all right.
That's
well,
interesting. That's interesting
ahead,
that's interesting for kayak anglers, because a lot of folks, if you have the roof rack, kayak's going in the back or a trailer.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to get into this, but they make trailers with tents on top, with topper tents on top of the trailer.
Yeah,
but
That's
just in general. But the one you just suggested works really good for kayak anglers because you got your kayak in the back of the truck, you slide it out, you throw that tent up in the back. I mean, everything's right there, and then in the morning, break it down, throw the kayak in, and you're off to the ramp.
Yeah, and from looking at it, I want to get my hands on one before I speak about it too much. But from looking at their website, because there's not really any videos out on these things yet, except for the ones that put out, which you know how that goes.
Right.
But it looks very much, you roll it down from the top of the camper shell, you strap it around the tailgate, you're good to go. And it's like 2 straps. So I'm like, wow, that might be the way to go. Like on the road, long trip. Like I went to Rockadock, was it last month? Really wanted to take my kayak, which turned out the seat frame was bent, so I didn't take it. But I was sitting there the whole time, and I was like, if I could strap this thing on my roof rack and not have the rooftop tent up there for just this trip, which mine's like 75 pounds. I can take it off and on as I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like for that particular trip, to be able to do that, I would have took the rooftop tent off, threw the kayak up there, strapped it down, used that thing for the camping setup, and just rolled with it. So it's got pros and cons too.
Yeah.
I go on so many different trips throughout the year that I'm like, I almost need something for each scenario.
Well, that's, I think, kind of, how you handle it, right? But I think tons of great information was given out in this episode on, like, different aspects on how you could take this whole thing, which we appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, what's really funny is Smiley was like, holy shit, are we actually going to get through information, or is this going to be a shit show? And I feel like we got through a lot of great information.
Well, that's a great thing too about kayak angling is if you are traveling by yourself or with a friend or two,
bitches.
A lot of kayak anglers or bitches are doing that. You're
if
going
you're
to
Russ
the state
Snyder's,
park. Yeah. Well, no,
if you're Russ Snyder's with a whole. Listen, I can absolutely confirm that Russ Snyder's has a truck that he drives his stuff in and another truck full of lady friends behind him.
But in general, for the rest of us who aren't world-class kayak anglers, you're staying at state parks, you're staying at campgrounds, and a lot of in a lot of what we do is, you know, if we're going for a day, if we're going one night, we're going for 2 nights. You know, how quickly can I get my shit set up on Sunday morning? Because at the end of the tournament, I don't want to have to pay for another campsite for Monday because, you know, I got to load my shit up on Sunday morning, Saturday morning, whatever it is, and get out of there. Like, how do we do that efficiently? And how do we do it to where we're comfortable for
I was about to say,
1 or 2 nights we're there?
Comfort's a huge issue. Smiley broke on
the biggest thing. Yeah.
In the very beginning, like we're cooking good meals while we're doing this too, right? Like we're not eating shitty MREs. We're handling like we're having tacos. Like he said, there's exactly one Korean grocer and one Hispanic grocery store in all of Georgia. So Smiley's able to kind of, you know, bring all of that in there. Hey, Smiley, before we let you go, though, we've been playing Marry, Fuck, Kill for a year and a half now, right? Yeah. So, you know, we did it last week, so now we want yours. So don't worry about what me and Paul said because we answered fully last week. This is the Thanksgiving edition of Marry, Fuck, Kill. If you don't know what the rules are, you need to marry one, you need to fuck one, and you need to kill one, and I'll give you 3 options. You understand?
Yes.
Cool. Macaroni and cheese, stuffing, or candied yams?
Oh, straight off the rip, I'm killing candied yams.
Oh.
I knew that from a southerner because that's some northern shit. We call them sweet taters down here.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. That's
okay.
I'd have to marry stuffing.
All right. All right.
So it's a good filler. It's flavorful. You don't get tired of it. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you gotta fuck the mac and cheese because it's like that dude, that video that he's like stirring his mac and cheese. He's like, if it don't sound like that, I don't want it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's a really if any woman listens to that sound, they're instantly turning lesbian because they never want to hear a man go, "Hey babe, listen to this." All right, and then the other end of Marry Fuck Kill is what's your favorite part of Thanksgiving? Is it family? Is it food? Or is it the sports?
I'd say it's the family. It's eating Christmas about the
No.
only time.
Hold on.
No.
It's still
It's
Marry Fuck Kill.
MFK.
Oh,
It's still
Marry,
Marry Fuck Kill.
fornicate, or annihilate.
Yeah.
oh God. We could kill the sports because I don't really watch like professional ball.
All right, that's fine.
Live in the SEC. We got to have the college football.
Okay.
Wait, what were the other two? It was family and what?
It's family
Food?
and food. Yeah.
I'm marrying the food. You gotta
What are
have
you gonna
it.
do? What do you mean food? Are you marrying or are you
You
fornicating?
just said marrying the food.
Marrying the food. You gotta have
Okay.
it.
And just like a good Georgian, he's fucking the
He's
family.
fucking his family. Make sure we're clear here. Check out Smiley Adventures. He fucks his family. He lives in Georgia. We knew that was going to happen. I cannot believe that we set that up again. All right, everybody. It was another episode of Bass and Brews. Smiley walked into fucking
Thank
his
you,
family.
Smiley. You the
All right.
man, Hoss. Love you,
Make
bud.
sure to check out patreon.com/Bass and Brews. We'll see you on the next one, dirtbags.